Okay, so are you ready for this? We're diving into something seriously mysterious today.
I know, right? It's like a real-life archaeological puzzle.
Exactly. The Indus Valley Civilization. They were this huge advanced society, but then poof, they vanished. Gone.
It's wild, isn't it? Like, we're talking a civilization twice the size of Egypt and Mesopotamia combined.
Yeah. Like those are the civilizations that everyone learns about in school, the pyramids and mummies and all that. But this was happening at the same time, and it was massive, all over what's now Pakistan and Western India.
And think about this. It wasn't even discovered until the 1920s.
So we've only known about them for like 100 years. That's crazy.
Yeah. And the more we learn about them, the more questions we have.
Okay, so let's get this straight. They built these massive, organized cities, but they didn't seem to be into big monuments or burying kings with tons of treasure or fighting wars.
Well, they were definitely advanced. They had incredible urban planning, sophisticated sanitation systems, and they even standardized weights and measures.
I mean, that's pretty organized.
Super organized. But you're right, they weren't into those lavish displays of wealth and power like some other ancient civilizations. They seem to have valued practicality and communal living.
Yeah, like those public baths and granaries you mentioned.
Exactly. Those are signs of a society that cared about the well-being of its people. And here's the other thing. We don't see depictions of warfare or powerful rulers in their art. So maybe they had different ways of resolving conflicts and organizing their society.
Interesting. It's like they were way ahead of their time in some ways.
Yes.
Okay, but then around 1900 BCE, boom, everything changes. Their cities were abandoned, trade networks collapse, and their writing system just disappears. What on earth happened?
That's the million-dollar question. The video we're looking at today gives us a few possible explanations.
Okay, lay them on me.
Well, one theory is that they were hit with some massive environmental changes. Think about it. The Indus River was their lifeline. What if, say, there were movements in the Earth's crust that caused the river to shift its course or flood?
That would totally mess up their agriculture and everything.
Exactly. It could have disrupted their entire way of life.
Makes sense. But the video also mentions an invasion, right? Like maybe another group came in and conquered them.
That's another possibility, but here's the thing. If there was a big invasion, wouldn't we expect to see more evidence of fighting or destruction in the archaeological record?
Right, that makes sense. I guess it's possible the evidence is just lost or hasn't been found yet.
Exactly, and that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating. We just don't have all the pieces of the puzzle.
Okay, so we've got environmental change, possible invasion, and then there's also the idea of a catastrophic flood, right?
Yeah, like what if a massive flood wiped out the entire civilization? It sounds dramatic, but those kinds of events have happened in history.
But again, is there any actual evidence for a flood that big?
Not really. Not yet, anyway. And the video also talks about the possibility of a gradual decline. Maybe the civilization just sort of faded away over time.
It even says that there isn't much evidence to support that idea either, though, right?
Yeah, and that brings us to one of the biggest mysteries of all, the Indus script.
Oh, right. Their writing system. I remember seeing pictures of those symbols on pottery and seals.
And it's still undeciphered. We have no idea what those symbols mean. Were they writing literature, religious texts, administrative records? Who knows? If we could crack that code, we might finally get some answers about their society, their beliefs, and maybe even clues about their decline.
It's like their writing is a locked door and we're missing the key. The video actually compares them to Atlantis.
The Atlantis of the East.
Yeah. It's a pretty fitting comparison, don't you think? This advanced civilization just vanishes. Poof. It really makes you wonder about how fragile civilizations can be, even the powerful ones.
No kidding.
So what do you think caused the fall of the Indus Valley Civilization? Was it a natural disaster, invasion, something else entirely? It's up to you to decide.
But here's something to keep in mind as you're pondering this mystery. What if the key to understanding the Indus Valley Civilization is hidden within those undeciphered symbols?
Oh, I like that. Like what secrets might be locked away in their writing?
Maybe one day we'll figure it out. And when we do, who knows what amazing things we'll discover about this lost civilization.
What a story, right? It's incredible to think that there are still so many mysteries out there just waiting to be uncovered.
I know. And that's what makes archaeology so exciting.
Well, that wraps up another deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those brains buzzing.
See you next time.